Morning everyone, it's nice to have you here. I'm Emily and I'm here delivering our first bite-sized training on behalf of CVS Newark and Sherwood. We're running these bite-sized training sessions alongside our 1-hour how-to series of digital training. The bite-size and the how-to sessions will be run bi-weekly, as well as us running a monthly clinic where you can book appointments to ask topical questions. Feel free to contact me anytime about what we're doing in these upcoming sessions, and if you'd like any more information or if you'd like to join. In today's session, we'll be looking at improving IT confidence and the use of the internet for research and looking up information, as well as using the internet to communicate via email. Once we've completed the session, I'll provide you with the link to the presentation that was delivered. Okay, yeah. So the first thing that we'll cover in this session is accessing the internet. Providing that your internet connection is okay, we can look at how to use internet browsing to the best of its abilities. The internet offers many important opportunities to keep in touch with friends and family, find helpful information, use devices such as online banking, and shop from the comfort of your home. Whilst it can be an intimidating platform due to the quantity of information, the opportunity for communication and learning on the internet is unmatched to many other resources. Okay, so your browser software is the application that allows you to access web pages on the internet or websites. Popular browsers include, from left to right, Google Chrome, and Firefox, Safari, and Internet Explorer. Today, I'll mostly look at Google Chrome, but it doesn't matter which browser you have, as most of them are very, very similar in the way that they function. So currently, Google Chrome is the most widely used browser in the world and is also considered one of the fastest and most secure, which is why I would recommend it. So to access your internet browser, you will need to go down to the taskbar. It's a small pop-up menu in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Open the web browser by either scrolling through the apps that pop up when you press the taskbar down here, or typing in the name of Google Chrome or Safari if you have a search bar. Once you've found that, you can then go through and click on the browser icon to open up the internet site. Once you've opened up and located your preferred browser, you just click to open it, and it will open up a brand new tab which you can maximize to make full screen. To do a basic Google search, you'll need to get to the Google homepage. So the best way to do this is to see the URL taskbar at the top of the screen and type in google.com and press enter. Once you've reached it, you will get a very simple web page, and it should just come up with the Google logo and a text box underneath. To start searching for a topic that you're interested in, you will need to click on the Google taskbar just underneath the logo and start to type the topic that you're interested in. It's easy to identify. I'm not sure why in the other one that the Google wasn't coloured, but Google has very distinct colours and its home webpage is very, very simple. So once you start typing, you should see options for similar or related topics underneath what you're typing. If any of these related topics are what you're looking for, all you need to do is click on the related topic. But if it's not, just carry on typing and press enter when you're done. Sometimes it can make it easier to search for what you're searching, and sometimes it's just confusing and distracting. As long as in the top text box you have what you want to be searching, just press enter, and next you'll move to your search results. So now you can check out your search results page. They'll show up in the format of a list. You need to just scroll down the page and click on a search result that looks most relevant to your topic. Read the smaller text below a result to get an idea of what the page is about. If you're unsure on which topic or page to go for, I would suggest clicking one of the top 3 results, as Google puts in order of what it most recommends for you. To select the web page that you'd like to be on, you just need to click the title, like the top title, which is underlined, and that will take you directly to the web page. All of these captions as well below. I'm going quite quick past them. It is what I'm saying, so I think it's better to see the image whilst I'm speaking. Okay, so once you are on a web page, an important part of navigation can be the forwards and the backward arrows. The forwards and the backward arrows are sort of undo and redo commands. So if you've gone from your list of websites and you press forward, you will go onto the web page that you were previously on. So say that we've done, as we've said, and we've typed in our topic and we've clicked on the web page from the list. You're now on that web page and you want to go back to the list. You come up and you press the back arrow, which is the facing left arrow. So it's a great way to navigate Google, and it's really important in terms of not making things really long and difficult to get around. Another way to make it more efficient whilst using Google is to use tabs. You can open multiple different pages on Google. You do this, it's really useful, and you don't have to keep closing down the website that you're looking at to view another one. All you do to this is head to the top above the URL search bar and press the plus button. This keeps the current web page open while simultaneously opening up another web page. This enables you to flip back and forward between 2 tabs that would be up. To select which tab you want to view, you can hover over the tab and it will tell you a brief summary of the website that you're on. Once you've hovered over the tabs and you can see which website you're going to click on, you just click on it and you will switch to that website. It doesn't delete the other tabs. They're very visible all across the top, just above the URL thing. You can just switch back and forwards, which is really useful. And so, whilst the internet is an amazing place with a wealth of information and opportunities, you should also be aware of some of the potential dangers that you can run into. When using social media and online platforms, it's important to not divulge personal details that could compromise you, your professionalism, or your privacy. This means, although that you're speaking to people that you may know online on social media sites, there's ways for your information to be compromised, so just don't share anything too personal or too private or confidential. Another thing to do is to make sure that you have enabled your privacy safeguards. So on most websites, including websites such as Facebook and Google, they will have privacy settings, and you can normally find this either on your profile or on the right hand side. They'll have a settings option, and under privacy you can normally change who can see your information, who can interact with you. You also have the option to block people or hide your information from people, so take advantage of these. They're there to protect you. Another safety measure that should be made is the use of strong passwords and not using all of the same passwords for a lot of different sites. What makes up a strong password is using a mixture of random words mixed in with numbers and uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as special symbols. So the example I have here is 3 Red House pub 27. It's very random and it doesn't include names of the person or dates of birth. That's information I'd really advise you to stay clear of, because if information is in the public domain, it's easier for someone to figure out. So keep them random, and you can get password like apps which keep all your passwords secure and in one place if they're difficult to remember, because you need a password for a lot of things nowadays. Another safety measure is don't assume that public Wi-Fi hotspots or places like cafes and hotels are always secure. Of course, it's fine to use Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, but I'd advise you not to do anything confidential like using your email or making payment, as criminals can often intercept because it's an unprotected network and potentially steal your information or disrupt transactions. So it's just something to be aware of. Okay, so moving on from the internet, we can look at email and how to use email to communicate with other people. Email is a great tool to use to connect with people personally and professionally. It's an important tool for communication, and it's one of the most commonly formed use of messaging inside and outside the workplace. An email is a digital message sent electronically from one computer to another via email providers. Emails are flexible and can be used for giving instructions, serving as documentation, providing confirmation, communicating rules, procedures, and making recommendations, as well as updating people on your status. There are multiple free web-based email providers to choose from, and it doesn't particularly matter which one you go with, as all the interfaces are very similar. But some of the options that you have are Hotmail/Outlook, Google Gmail, and Yahoo. Obviously there's more, and I know there's ones with the Apple, iCloud and such as well, which are also really good. Signing up for an email account is free and really easy to do. If you already have an email account, you can simply log into your account. If you don't, you'll probably have to input a custom email address and a name and a date of birth and some basic information like that. But apart from that, it's super easy to set up. The email provider that I'll be using today to give some sort of explanation is Hotmail and Outlook, but there's no need to worry about this because, as I said, there's lots of similar interfaces. The email all runs quite similarly so that people can understand it across all of the different platforms. So once you're signed in, a good thing to do or to start with is to add contacts. It's good to gather email addresses of people that you know and put them in your contacts list. Each email should have a contacts section, and as is circled in the very bottom left of this image, the Outlook one is a small people button. You click the people icon in the bottom left-hand corner of the taskbar. When you click this button, a pop-up window should appear, allowing you to save people's names and email addresses and photos if you have them. But if not, the photo will just come up as their initials, which I find just as useful. Having all your contacts in your email account will make it easier to write emails later, as you can just input people via their names rather than memorizing lots of email addresses. So once you've signed in, you'll see your inbox, which should look something like this. The search feature for emails is really useful and very important if you're trying to sort through information. This is where you'll see that people send you emails in the inbox. The search feature for emails is important when you're looking for specific messages or pieces of information that someone has sent you. To search for a message, you simply click in the text box and type in the keywords of the email that you want to find, or the person's name. If you type in a person's name, all of your correspondence with them will come up below and you'll be able to click through them and read previous conversations. Okay, so creating a new email. To write an email, you'll click the New Email, Compose Email, or Write an Email button. For Outlook, it's New Email, shown on the far left side of the inbox. This far left side is your navigation bar and where your folders of different emails are kept. So for organizational purposes, folders are really useful in sorting your inbox and your drafts and junk email. So once you've opened your new mail, it will open a blank text box on the far right hand side of the screen that you can now type your email into. Similar to writing a letter, there's certain protocol to follow. So you'll often start your email with a greeting and a middle bit of text, which is the content of the email, and then you'll sign off your email at the end. It's just a polite way of doing it, very similar to a letter. So once you've opened up your new email, you should have who the email is from at the top, and then the next bar down is the to. So at the top of the page, you'll fill out the important information. The first box, you will need to type in the person or person's email addresses that you're sending the email to. You can type multiple people in here and send a mass email, which is extremely useful rather than copying and pasting all the content over. The next box below this, the next box below this is the CC button. Below the to bar, there is an option to CC someone in, which means to copy someone into an email. This means that the email will show up in their inbox as an email, but it was sent indirectly. This allows them to know that the email was sent to keep them into the loop or to pass on information. This is a really useful tool when communicating professionally, as you can make sure people can stay informed on the correspondence without feeling the need to directly reply. So the subject is the fourth line down from the to and the CC and who the email is from. The last text box is the subject line. Filling out the subject bar at the top of the email is very important, as this is where the recipient will be able to see that this is the topic that the recipient will be able to see in their inbox in the small window that they get to the email before they've opened it. This title is a space for you to summarize the topic and contents of the email into a short sentence and make sure that the recipient doesn't miss out on any of the important information that you're sending them. Okay, so assuming now that you've sent a few of your first emails and you've started getting a few emails back, to reply to an email, you will need to have the open email in the right hand side. So when you click on an email in your inbox, it will open to the right of your inbox. So you're still able to see your inbox. To reply to the email that has been sent to you, you must have the email open, and at the top of the email there are a few options. Click the button marked reply. This will open up a new email already addressed to your recipient. You can then type in your contents and press send, and it will form a chain of emails. So what's been sent to you, your reply to that will be just below that. Another important part of that is so up at the top there's reply, and next to it is reply all. So if you've been sent an email and you can see that the email has been sent to a few email addresses at the top, if you wish to reply to everyone, you can click reply all, type out your email contents and press send, and the email will automatically be sent to everybody. Another option along the top of an open email is to forward. To forward an email is to send on an email that was sent to you, sharing its contents and the sender's email address with another chosen contact of yours. To use this function, you click the button marked forward at the top of an open email, and then add the person's email of which you wish to forward the email to. Once you've done this, you can add a little message, your thoughts, or just an update on what's going on, and then once you've pressed send, they will have the original contents of the email, plus maybe your thoughts if you added them in. The last feature of email that I will go through is attachments. Email is incredibly useful for transferring attachments such as files that you've been working on or pictures that you have. So to do this, at the top you click insert, and then the arrow here is just pointing to files, and the next image is just pointing to the pictures option. To do this, you would select insert that was at the top of the blank email, and then you will have the option to choose a file or an image from your computer. So once you've clicked file or image, it will go into your computer browser. You select the file, you pick which one is relevant to what you're sending, and you select the image, file, or folders that you want to attach. When you've clicked them, you press open and it will insert that into the email. Once something's attached, it should look like this. I've got an example document there. You'll be able to see it along with the contents of your email and the 4 bars where you put the information of what you're sending to people. So it's easy to see. If there's nothing under the attachments line, you haven't successfully attached the document. It's a great method for transferring work back and forth between people, and it makes communication so much easier. And for example, if you need to find a document that someone sent to you, attached to you, use the search bar that we looked at earlier, and you search for the email and you can find the attachments along with the email. Okay, so the same with using the internet, there are a few things to be wary of when it comes to using email and protecting your personal data. So the first thing that I look for is to not open links or attachments from email addresses you don't know or don't recognize, as there is a chance that it could be unsafe or fraudulent. If you have any suspicion that the email is not completely legitimate or it looks like it isn't the official website, don't click on it. Definitely don't open any attachments or click any links that are within the email. Just delete the email. And if you're unsure whether the link may be fraudulent, type in the website into Google, type it yourself rather than clicking the link, and go on there to do whatever it is you wanted to do through the link anyway. And then you can be sure that you've accessed the website in a safe way. Also, if you get any of these emails, don't forward them to anybody. Don't forward or respond to them if you suspect them of being unsafe or fraudulent, because you wouldn't want someone to accidentally click on something that you were uncertain of clicking on either. So thank you very much for attending. We now have some time for questions and answers. If anyone has said anything that they'd like to say, you can just type your question into the Zoom Q&A, which is the button just at the bottom, and I can go through and I can privately message you if you'd prefer, or I can address them just speaking now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back to the Zoom.